Good day to each and everyone. Um, Today I am going to share you another concept of C programming, and actually this is part of function programming, right? Many programmers call this as recursion, right? The idea of recursion programming is this: it is somewhat like a loop statement, right? You're trying to do things repetitively, all right? So you're performing the same task for several times. That's looping. Now, under recursion programming is since it is a function programming, you're trying to call your own function for several times, all right, until such time that a particular condition is being met. That's recursion, and that's what I'm going to discuss in this particular video. And I hope that at the end of this video I'll be able to discuss the idea of recursion, and along the way I can discuss my way of sharing my technical know-how, especially on the manual simulation of the program. And of course I'll be posting videos using recursion programming. Okay, so without delay, I'll be showing to you my notepad. Okay, uh, I hope my internet is okay. It's okay. We'll be trying to create C program that will print series of numbers from X to Y, right? And this X to Y are actually values coming from the user. We'll be using scanf in here, and applying the idea of recursion. Okay, so I'll be discussing the totality of recursion as we do the manual simulation of the program. Okay, so here um, I have this usual include stdio.h, and then I have this function, a void one, right? And the specific task of this function is to print all the number series. If your x is 1 and your y is 5, we'll be displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? If our x is 7 and our 5 is 10, our y is 10, then we'll be displaying 7, 8, 9, 10. That's right. Those are actually natural numbers. All right. So this particular uh, function will do the honor of displaying the natural numbers. And of course, when we are going to use this function, we need to pass two parameters, two integer value, and that two integer value will be received by lower limit and the upper limit. This is actually lower limit refers to our x, right, and upper limit refers to our y, and all these two values are all coming from the user. And then we have the usual function, get value, or I named here as get number limit. Okay, and when we are going to use this function, we'll be passing parameters, character values. We have a, b, c, d, and e, so we need to pass 5 character values as parameters. And the third function is display. Okay, it's a void function, and when we are going to use this one, we'll be passing two parameters, right, x and y, right? So here, this is our main program. Okay, so I did have these two variables, integer variables, because within the body I'll be using this as colors. Okay, so look at this, lower limit. Okay, this is what, this is an integer variable, and lower limit is trying to use get number limit. Okay, and when we use get number limit, we tend to pass the word lower. All right, and this lower, letter L, letter O, letter W, letter E, letter R, will be received by get number limit as parameters. Now let's try to look for uh, get number limit. So it's in here. This is our get number limit. Okay, and get number limit is in need of 5 parameters. So when we are uh when lower limit is trying to call get value, our C compiler will get inside get value and function. So in this particular example, our A receives L, okay, and our B receive O, right? Are you following? And our C receive W, and our D receive letter E, and our E receive receives letter R. All right. So these are actually parameters, LOWER, and those character values are being received by A to E respectively. And within the bound of get number limit function, I did have this value as my local variable, okay? And I'll be using this variable within also the get number limit function. And in here, our program will display enter, then followed by the 5 data placeholder for the values of A to E. So the values of A to E is what? LOWER, right? Then followed by the word limit. Okay, so enter lower limit. And then the program or the get number limit is asking for a number. Say for example, we'll supply 1. When we press enter K, our 1 is being stored to value, right? And return value, look at this here. Return value means what? Return value means you're trying to return the content of value, which is 1. And this value 1 will get in and received by lower limit, because lower limit calls for the get number limit. All right. And then the second line of our main program is another call, and this time the upper limit is now calling the same function get number limit. And while trying to call get number limit, it brings the word upper, UPPER. And this UPPER, when we get inside this one, all right, will be received by letter A, okay, to E. Letter A receives what? U, okay, and letter B receives P, and letter C receives what? P, and letter D receives E. Are you following? And our E receives what? R. All right. So here, that's it. And then it goes in here, it declares a value, and then at this time our program is again asking or displaying the word enter, and followed by the data placeholders of A, B, C, D, and E. And this time A, B, C, D, and E contains what? UPPER, then followed by the word limit. All right. So say for example our value is 3. When we press enter K, 3 will eventually be stored to value, our local variable. And the next line is return value, meaning we are trying to return the value 3. And this 3 will be received by the caller upper limit. Alright? Are you following? Okay. Here, this manual simulations actually, if you're following my video, you can relate this. I've been into this discussion for quite some times, right? Now look at this here. The next line is here. So we are trying to call display, and when we call display, all right, we are bringing the value of lower limit, which is 1, and the upper limit, which is 3. Okay, so C compiler will be looking at display here, and then since when we call display we are bringing 1 and 3, so x will receive 1 and our y will receive 3. 1 and 3 are actually what? Parameters. Okay, here the value for lower limit and upper limit, it's in here. Are you following? Okay, so here our x has 1 and our y has 3, and by way of saying print, what is then the result? It will display all natural numbers from %d. This %d is actually a data placeholder of y. Our y is how much? Our y is 1. Then followed by 2. Then another %d for the x. I mean x. Right? And another %d for y. Our y contains 3. Then followed by the word r. Then space bar. Okay? So our system display all natural numbers from 1 to 3 r, and then it goes back to the main function. All right, so it goes down in here, and when it goes down in here, we are again trying to call another function, natural numbers, and while we are trying to call print natural numbers, we are bringing the value of lower limit and the upper limit, which is 3. And then, right, and then C compiler will be looking at print natural number. So it's here. And our print natural number contains these two integer variables. And eventually, lower limit will receive 1 and upper limit will receive 3. This lower limit and upper limit. Now take note, our lower limit here and our upper limit is a different 2 when we compare to the lower limit in here and the upper limit. Right? So we can change here to x and y, no problem. Or we can change here to y and x, no problem. Right? This lower limit is actually not the same as this. These are two different lower limit. Okay, these are user defined variables. Okay, so our lower limit in here receive 1 and our upper limit receive 3. And look at here. We are trying to check, okay, if our lower limit, which is 1, is greater than the upper limit, which is 3. Is 1 greater than the upper limit? The condition is false. Now look at this. If this condition is true, then our program will exit. Okay, it will return, meaning it will return to the main menu and the main function, and next to print, right, is return 0, meaning our program will terminate, and the result is only this one, all natural numbers from, right? So it is going to happen if our lower limit is greater than the upper limit. Alright? So in this particular example, our lower limit is 1 and our upper limit is 3. So meaning the condition is false. Now since the condition is false, do not perform this one, do not exit, proceed to the next line. Okay? Now the next line says print %d lower limit. Okay, so if you can remember, our cursor is here, and this function is now printing whatever is the value of lower limit. Our lower limit is how much? Our lower limit is 1, so it will display 1 in here. Okay, and then the next time is what? With 2 vacant space in here, so we'll be allowing 2 vacant space also, right? And followed by this one. Now look at this. This is now the recursion way. Okay, our print natural numbers function is trying to call itself. Okay, good as if I am print natural numbers function, I'm trying to call myself callback. Okay, so when we say print natural numbers, it will go back in here. That's recursion. You're trying to loop. Okay, so this is recursion programming here. Now, when our program do the recursion, it brings two parameters, lower limit plus 1 and the upper limit also. So this time, because we are trying to use the recursion concept, when you say print natural numbers and trying to bring lower limit plus 1, you're trying to bring your lower limit, which is 1 plus 1, right? The value of lower limit is 1 plus 1, and that's 2. And this 2 will be received by, because you're trying to call your own function. That's recursion. So in this particular moment, our lower limit contains 2 because of this recursion process. And our upper limit, okay, remains how much? 3. Alright? So when you say print natural numbers, you'll be going back to your own function, and you're bringing whatever is your lower limit plus 1. Since your lower limit is 1 plus 1, that's 2. You're trying to pass 2 to lower limit, and you're trying to pass the same value 3 to upper limit. Okay? Now, knowing that your lower limit is 2 and your upper limit is 3, you'll then check the condition. Okay? The condition says what? Is your lower limit, which is this time 2, right, greater than 3, which is actually the value of upper limit. The condition is false. Now, since the condition is false, okay, do not perform this one, right? But instead go to the next line and perform. The next line says print whatever is the value of lower limit. Our lower limit is how much? 2. So if you can remember, our cursor is here because with matching 2 blank spaces, right? So it will display the value of lower limit, and again those blank space. Are you following? Okay. So after doing this one, this line, it will move down, and recursion concept applied again. So call your own function. So it goes back to here, and when it goes back, it brings lower limit plus 1. So meaning our lower limit is how much? 2 plus 1, that's 3. Okay, and then meaning the new value of lower limit now is how much? 3. Still upper limit remains 3. Right? Are you following? Okay, now here it will check the condition. Is your lower limit, okay, which is 3, greater than 3? All right, and so on and so forth. All right, it will check the condition. Now, in this particular example, is 3 greater than 3? No. So meaning the condition is still false. Now, since the condition is false, do not perform return, meaning do not exit, but perform or execute printf. Print whatever is the value of lower limit. Our lower limit is 3. So 3 will be displayed. And recursion, again, it will recurse. It will go back to the print natural numbers, and when it goes back, all right, when it goes back, the formula says lower limit plus 1. Our lower limit value is 3 plus 1, that's how much? That's 4. And then when we check the condition, is your lower limit, which is 4, greater than the upper limit, which is 3. This time the condition is true. Now since the condition is true, execute return, meaning go back to your main function. And when it goes back, it will be here. And look for another line. And the next line is return 0, meaning exit. Okay, exit your program. And this is the screen out. Okay, so recursion. Okay, this is the new topic as far as this video is concerned. Okay, when you are going to, when you are going to call your own functions, that's recursion. And in so many programming languages, recursion is being allowed, right? And as far as my experience is concerned in programming, you can really use recursion in function programming. Even in object-oriented programming, recursion is very much useful. All right. So I hope I was able to discuss the concept of recursion. Okay. When you apply recursion, you are trying to call your own function. All right. So that's recursion. In ordinary programs, that's looping. You're trying to do the same thing in several ways, or in yeah, in a repetitive manner. Okay, so now here we'll try to use our online compiler, and we will run the program. Okay, this is the same program that I was discussing a while ago. Okay, so we'll try click run button, and let's see if right. So say for example our lower limit is 1. We'll use the same example, and our upper limit is 3, and we are displaying what 1 2 3. All right, all natural numbers from 1 to 3, right? Then 1 2 3. Okay, so let's go back to our notepad. So it's in here. Okay, so same here. All right, I'm sorry, that's it. Okay, so now we will try to use another example. Say for example 3, or and then 10. So we'll be displaying natural numbers 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Another example, let's say for example we'll start at 2, right? And we'll try to say 23. Then our program will display the natural numbers from 1 to 23. Now, what if our lower limit is greater than the upper limit? How is our program behaves? Right? Say for example our upper limit is 23, lower limit, and our upper limit is 1. It will display nothing. It will just display all natural numbers from 23 to 1, and we cannot see anything in here. Why? Because there's no such thing as 23, right? 23, 22. That is not natural numbers. Right? So again, recursion concept. It is actually a function programming concept still, but you're trying to use your own function. You're trying to use yourself for several times. That's recursion. And I'll be giving you several videos using recursion concept in this particular YouTube channel. Okay, so I am hoping that I was able to give you and share with you the concept of recursion, and I hope I was able to discuss the program well. And if you have some questions, please do some comments. Right, I am so much willing to add another video just to cater your concern, programming concern. And please click subscribe button, and if you have time, please share this video to your classmates, to your friends, relatives who are wanting to learn programming. All right, like I said, if you want to be good in programming, if you want to learn programming, start learning C programming language. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for now. God bless you.